Hey YouTube, we're going to talk about one-handed shooting today. This is more of an instructor level training for things you can work on, not necessarily drills, but it does incorporate some drills you can practice here. So one-handed shooting, what we're looking to do is we're looking to obviously come out with one hand, have the proper input instead of two hands, just with the one hand. Generally what we're going to see is firing with one hand. We generally see all that input get put in there because they're like, now I got to hold it and I got to try to keep the gun straight. And then we see a bunch of input. If you're right-handed, we see the rounds generally go low left. If you're left-handed, generally low right. With one-handed shooting, what we're trying to do is keep the gun up, generally trying to keep it as upright as we can. You can do sort of a cant, but now you're practicing, in my opinion, a bunch of stuff that, you generally shoot two hands with the gun upright. Now, if I start to cant it, like I'd like to keep everything the same, things all equal. So I'd like to keep the gun straight up and just work on that recoil coming back and having the proper input. Obviously, it's going to be more input than having two hands on the gun come up. Oh, see my input. And it's just going to have the proper input with one hand. I like to do one shot return drill with this a lot just to really like see that input, like boom, boom, get the gun there. With the right amount of input, you can get the gun moving pretty quick one-handed. Another thing we see is if I back up here, another thing we see is if we do this and we just keep our feet shoulder width apart, or even if we have the slight cant, a little bit harder to control that recoil, just slightly. If we actually give ourselves, if I'm shooting right hand, if I can give myself the opportunity to have my body at a bladed stance towards the gun and shoot it that way one-handed, I generally can do a little bit better managing the recoil and getting the gun on faster, getting the dot there, having the proper input. Like if I can do all the things right, this helps me with some of that recoil mitigation. So that's what we want to see, whether it's left-handed, right-handed. If I'm left-handed or shooting left-handed, then I'm going to try to do the same thing if I can. For like those class fires and that sort of stuff, we don't want to see you just standing straight. If you have the opportunity to start, like, hey, I know I'm coming out of the holster, going to my left hand and transitioning, like, cool, then I'm going to try to blade my stance. Or if I have time, like if I do a reload or something, I have time to blade my stance to then go one-handed either way. That's great as well. So let's do some demos here. I like to start with one shot return drill, just kind of see where that gun's coming right back to. So let's go eyes and ears, and then you can kind of speed it up from there. You can do doubles, you can do some of these things, but let's do one shot return and start there. So coming out, one shot return. Okay, so I'm looking for that proper input. Again. Okay, looking for that proper input. Okay, now if we have no input, okay, gun comes up, no input, again, no input, okay. Now if I do too much, okay, see the gun dip, again, okay, gun came up, I did too much, tried to drive it down, okay. Once again, we just want to see the gun come right back. Okay, again, again. Okay, I'm just looking for that proper input. Boom, come right back. That way you can get into doubles and do some of that stuff, or at least get firing faster. Okay. Okay, went a little bit low, put a little too much input. A lot of input on that one. Okay, so this is really a good drill to do, and there's a lot of training aspect here of like, hey, I have the gun out, boom, okay, it comes right back. If I watch the dot or I don't put any input, oh, gun came up, now I bring it down. If I do too much and drive it, which is exactly what I did on two of those shots, which is why it went low, that's generally what we see. So this is a great drill to work on, especially with one-handed shooting. I can, once again, do it with left-handed as well. So if I come out here, do the same thing. Okay. And I'm just once again driving for that vision focus and just making sure I have the right amount of input. If I don't, it'll look like this again. Okay, it comes up really slow. Again. So you can do this left or right-handed. It's a great drill to do to really focus on that one-handed shooting and, you know, drive the gun. Like I said, it's easier to do it this way by having, you know, a bias in some way versus if I just do it like this. I can still do what I need to do and get the gun there, but it's a little bit easier to actually drive the gun into it, or not drive the gun into it, but rather have our body there and try to soak up more of that recoil if we can. Just make things a little bit easier. So give it a try. This one-handed shooting, left or right hand, it works both the same way. Give it a try and let me know what you think.